Hello, my name's Emma Carlow, and today I'm going to show you how to make a woven fish like this. You probably saw them in the little film of my mobile, and they're made out of withies, but we don't all have withies lying around at home, so I thought I'd show you how to make them using pages from a magazine. If you don't have any magazines around, here's one a lot bigger that was made using newspaper. I would say magazines possibly a little bit easier. Anyway, let's make a start. So what you'll need to make your fish are pages from magazines. If you choose colourful pages, obviously you'll end up with a colourful fish. And you'll need some scissors. This is just a kebab stick. The one made from newspaper was using a pencil because this is a bit too thin for something that large. Some sellotape and a bit of glue. This is just PVA. So you take your magazine pages, and I would trim off any rough edges like I have there. And then you want to fold your magazine in half, your page in half, just like this. Let's move those out of the way. And then you just cut down the middle so that you end up with long strips like this. Right, now I'm going to show you how we make the ingredients for the fish. So this fish is made up of rods like this, and these are the magazine pages that have been rolled, and I'll show you how to do that. And you'll see that there's a thin end and a thick end, which you want, because we're going to join rods together, and it's very easy to do. You just slip the thinner edge into the wider edge of the other one, but we'll come back to that later. Let's see how we make these rods. Right, to make the rod you'll need the kebab stick and the glue. So have your glue at the ready. I'm going to lie mine down so that I haven't got much left in the pot. So what we're going to do is roll this piece of paper at an angle, quite a steep angle. I don't know if you can see the line between the stick and the edge of the magazine is quite a narrow angle. I would say if you're into angles, it's about a 30-degree angle. And ideally you start the rolling first. It's a bit tricky to do that around the stick. And then you slip your stick in, and oops, still quite tricky. There we go. And then you roll using the stick, and you don't need to do it super tight because then you can't get the stick out, but you'll notice that the stick is slowly disappearing into the paper. So as you go, just pull it out a bit so that it doesn't get trapped in the middle. So we keep rolling. Pull. Yeah, I've got a bit tight there. That's it. Pull the stick out. And then we're coming to the edge, or the end. And then you just put a little spot of glue on. Oh, open the glue pot. That would help. Little spot of glue. There we are. And then keep rolling. And just hold it together for a second or two. And that's your first roll. And it's quite a nice colourful one, really. So I'm going to show you again, just so we've got it covered. So you start rolling. Bring it just like that, and then slip your stick in. And then you just roll it along. And remembering to pull the stick out as you go. This one's not quite as easy, don't know why. There we are. And then a spot of glue Here we are. Keep rolling. And take your stick out. And there we are, we've got 2 nice rods. Right, I'm going to use some that I did earlier because they'll be dry, but they don't take long to dry, minutes literally. Right, to start off your fish, I'm going to show you. You can see here that there's a long rod that runs the entire outline of the fish. So to make that, I'm going to join 2 together. And to do this, I think I said earlier, you just take the narrower end of one of your rods and slip it into the wider end of the other one, and there, joined. You don't need to glue it or anything like that. And then we're going to bend it right in the middle. I'm guessing where the middle is, but I think that's about it. And you bend it like that, and that's your fish's nose. Then we're going to take one of the other rods and we're going to take a little bit of tape. Oops. And you just join, I'm going to join the thin end. Right near the nose, you're going to join this piece of rod on, just with sticky tape like this. You won't see that in a minute, it'll be all covered up. And then we're going to start the weaving. So I'm going to make a little bend here to start it off. So the first place I'm going to go with this rod is round this one. And then I'm going to cross over. We're making a figure of 8 really around the rod, the outlining rod. And then round that one. It'll become a bit clearer in a minute. It's a bit tough at the beginning because you're making very tight rotations. So you go round the front of that one and bend it. It's quite tough. Through the middle so that you come out in front of this one. And we want to try and keep these nice and close together. And as we weave, for the first third of it, we're going to try and keep these outlining rods at making a V. So we get about a third of the way along. So round the back of that one. And then between the 2 and out in front of this one. And I'm making sure I line it up nice next to that one. Now we're coming nearly to the end of the rod, so I'll show you how to join the next one in. So round the back of that one, up through the middle. And I think I'm going to join it now. So I think this is, the thin end of this. I'm going to just put it in like that, and then I can keep going. So round this one, and then up through the middle again, and then up through the middle again, and round that. And in a minute we're going to probably be a third of the way down. Round that one, up through the middle, round that one, and up through the middle. Now, I think we're about a third of the way along, so you can see that they're still in a V shape, but now we're going to try and make them go parallel to each other, because this is the sort of middle of the fish here. So I'm going to join a new one in, like that, and go round. So as I weave this time, I just pull that in, keeping going in the figure of 8. So you can see now I've managed to get them parallel. And don't worry if they bend a bit, it's not a problem. And then keep going with them parallel for another third of the fish. And if you want a fatter fish, obviously you can keep going, or you could make your V fatter at the beginning. This is a skinny fish. Does that go in there? Yes. Just joining another. And continue with my figure of 8. Ooh. Nice colourful one, this one. You could do this with wrapping paper as well. That would be quite good. Right. I'm struggling to keep it parallel, but I could also start pinching it in to make the tail of the fish. Now things get slightly more fiddly doing this bit, but you don't have to be super gentle. Because it's getting narrower. You just have to. Right, I think I'm going to join another one on. That's it. And in this bit, I'm going to actually just go around where the tail crosses over, just to bind it into place. And then things get easier. You carry on weaving in your figure of 8. This time, because I've crossed over, I'm going round the back and then over the front, in between the two, and then round the back, over the front, round the back. Now, do I want a bit more of a tail? I think I do. I think that could work. Now I'm going to add another one on. Doesn't matter because we can cut it off when we get to the right length. And carry on. Right, I think that's probably a big enough tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off, and I need to tuck the end into this weaving here so that it doesn't come undone. But it's quite easy with paper. I'm going to cut it at a slight angle. And then I'm going to make a fold where it needs to tuck in. And I'm going to squish those together so it's quite a nice pointy end. And wiggle it. I might make a slightly shorter end actually. Just wiggle it in here. And if you want to, if you don't think it's very secure, you can put a dot of glue on. So I'm learning a lesson here. Maybe make your weaving of the tail slightly less tight. Let's just give it a bit more room. I'm just going to tuck that down there. Now, and then you could put a spot of glue on. And use the stick just to help me poke it down. There we are. And then you can trim off the ends of your fish. And there we are. Got a friend. And as I said before, you could string these up into a mobile if you find a twig outside or something. Use some thread to tie them on, or you could just put some thread through the top and hang them from branches, or if you liked, if you made it in some maybe sparkly paper or something like that, could be a Christmas tree decoration. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.